Hello and welcome to another video on the chart calculations available on the astrology practice. In this video, I want to talk a bit about the zodiacal releasing calculation. So this one is a little bit more difficult, so I would advise you not to use it unless you sort of know what you're doing and are quite familiar with timing techniques from traditional Hellenistic astrology. Um, Again, this is another method from Vetus Valens. If you want to know anything about methods by Vetus Valens, the astrology podcast on YouTube has a lot of lengthy videos explaining annual perfections and zodiacal releasing. So if you want really comprehensive information on it for free, you can have a look on the astrology podcast YouTube channel, and there are so many resources and so many videos. This website on the website on the astrology practice is just a tool to implement. I'm trying to implement as many methods from Vetus Valens as possible for calculation, and zodiacal releasing is a very powerful timing technique. So zodiacal releasing is just splitting your life into chapters of different importance in relation to um, a particular lot. The main lot that we need to look at is a lot of fortune, because that will the signs angular from the lot of fortune. So the lot of fortune is itself, plus the fourth house from the lot of fortune, plus the seventh, plus the 10th house from the lot of fortune. Those are called angular, and they are very important periods. They're called peak periods. And if you want to split your life into chapters, if you want a timing technique that can split your life into chapters and sort of show which period of your life is the most active and important in a particular life area, the zodiacal releasing method is what you want to use. It is very reliable. There are different lots that you can release from, so I'm choosing to give the 7 hermetic lots. The lot of fortune, spirit, eros, necessity, courage, victory, nemesis, and exaltation. So the lot of fortune is the default normal lot, and the other 7 hermetic lots are spirit, eros, necessity, courage, victory, nemesis, and exaltation. If you want to see how your life progresses from a fortune perspective, which is considering things that you don't really have a lot of control over, so things that just happen to you by fate, things that seem to just happen to you and you don't really have any control over, you look at a lot of fortune and how that splits your life into chapters. If you want to look over things that you do have some conscious control over, and how your growth in the world happens, how your spiritual growth happens, how your very often, this is looked at for career. You look at a lot of spirit. If you want to look at love and relationships, if you want to know if for many years you didn't really have any important relationship arise, or you felt like relationships, or especially love relationships, were not a huge part of your life. Once you enter a peak period from zodiacal releasing, in zodiacal releasing, once you enter a peak period from eros, you're going to most likely have a lot more activity in the area of relationships. So this is sort of what zodiacal releasing is tracking. And just to give an example, I'm going to release from the lot of fortune. So I'm going to pick the lot of fortune as the starting point, and I'm going to continue to use Prince Harry as an example. I've used him before for annual perfections, so I'm just going to keep his chart. So he's born September 15, 1984 at 4:20 p.m. in London. And for the zodiacal releasing for Prince Harry from fortune, his lot of fortune is in Virgo. Its condition is mixed. You can see a short analysis of the lot of fortune. It's in the 9th house from the ascendant, which is a more moderately helpful part of the chart. It's ruled by Mercury, placed in Virgo in the 9th, which is quite a powerful position, actually. It is the ruler. It is witnessed by the lot by conjunction. So the lot of fortune is in Virgo and its ruler is also in Virgo. This is actually a very powerful position because Mercury and the lot of fortune are both in the same sign. The lot of fortune is ruled by Mercury, which has full support from its ruler in the closest possible way because Mercury is already in its domicile and in its exaltation. Mercury in Virgo is in a very powerful spot. So this is already a very powerful nativity just by looking at a lot of fortune and just by seeing that Mercury is in the same sign as a lot of fortune and it rules a lot of fortune. We can already conclude this is a powerful nativity. You can have a look at the benefics witnessing the lot, which is Jupiter, but also Mars and Saturn are witnessing it, which are causing it to be mixed. Obviously, if you have such a powerful configuration, if your lot of fortune is ruled by a planet from its domicile, that is a pretty powerful combination, especially if it is witnessing it by one of the 5 Ptolemaic aspects, the conjunction, the sextile, the square, the trine, and the opposition. That's a very powerful position, but if one of the malefics will look at it, we will probably say it is mixed. It is a mixed condition, but still it's a powerful mixed condition. And the zodiacal releasing periods will be calculated by the website and shown. So right now, Prince Harry is in a level 1 Scorpio period, which has begun on the 21st of April 2012. We see, to judge how good that period is, you look at the malefics and benefics and how they're configured to Scorpio. Saturn seems to be in Scorpio, Jupiter is sextiling Scorpio, and it is ruled by Mars, which is the out of sect malefic, because Prince Harry has a day chart. If you don't really know what any of these things mean, or you're not too sure, you can open the reading section and you can check them out. But if you're using this method, you probably should know what it means for a sign to be occupied by Saturn and what that means in a day chart. It usually shows difficulties, but things which one can overcome eventually or with age. And you would know that a sextile by Jupiter, that shows some support, and Jupiter is in a day chart is the most beneficial planet, and the sextile is the second best aspect probably that Jupiter can make with a sign to provide support and good fortune, and so on and so forth. So if we look at his lot of fortune, we can sort of judge right now what kind of period he is in. So on the 2nd of February 2027, he's going to begin a Sagittarius period, which is a peak period. So his life circumstances, we expect in that period to change quite a lot. Right now, he's in a build-up level 2 period, in a build-up Taurus level 3 period, and a cool-down Libra level 4 period. So regarding his material and life circumstances that he doesn't really have control over, those seem to be in a sort of build-up period. There's nothing too notable happening, not too much activity. This is pretty much what this tells you. There is a level 5 period, which will probably be added on the website later on, because that can be useful. Maybe it is a little bit too detailed, but it can be useful to sort of judge how a single day will go by, which periods will be more fortunate in a way, which periods will be more active, which periods will be less active and more unfortunate. I'll add level 5 eventually. If we want to look at another lot, let's say the lot of Eros, that would track his relationships probably. So again, we have a short analysis for the lot of Eros. It's in Gemini. You have things, what does that mean for him? and we see what kind of periods he's in. There are some dots after this period, so between 1984 and 2004, we see on level 1, in the level 1 column, we see a CU, which is a culmination period. You don't really need to worry too much about what those mean, but it is a pretty significant period. Culmination period is a period that is a period that is in a culmination period. Is judged by the position of the lot of fortune, and we know which periods among the peak periods and among the build up and cool down periods are important to look at. The F period is a foreshadowing period. Usually foreshadowing means, you need to be careful that some of these columns are scrollable. So a foreshadowing period just means that, the Capricorn period will foreshadow. So some events will happen during the period from July 2012 to October 8, 2014 that will foreshadow some bigger changes happening between October 1st, 2021 and December 2023, whatever happened in his relationships at that time. I'm not very familiar with his life. It may have been that he left the royal family around that time, or maybe it was during his culmination period. So those things tend to get quite complicated. So again, you can have a look at the videos that Chris Brennan did on the Astrology podcast, a YouTube channel on Zodiacal releasing, and you can have a look and analyze more carefully what each of this period means. And if you choose to look at it for your chart, you should have a pretty good grasp of traditional and Hellenistic techniques, so get familiar with those. And at the end, we just have a disclaimer. Again, this is one of the most powerful methods that you can probably find in the whole Hellenistic period. In Hellenistic traditional astrology, it's very powerful, it's very good for predictions, but obviously it's never considered alone. You would still look at annual perfections, you'd still look at transits, you still look at progressions probably, especially eclipses and other things. No judgment is made on its own. There are many, many different factors that can modify a judgment, a prediction, a statement about somebody's chart. So this is what the disclaimer is for. You need to be careful when making decisions based on astrology, that one decision is to be weighed very carefully, and at the end of the day, astrology is still an interpretative art. It's a symbolic and interpretative art, and some interpretations can sometimes go wrong, but we need to learn from them, and it is very useful to also have very good details about events that happened in the past to be able to predict the future. So there are many things coming into prediction, so don't despair if you see something too scary or difficult coming up. So this was all I had to say for Zodiacal releasing. I hope this will be useful if you are interested to explore Zodiacal releasing, and I will see you in the next video.